Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Sideways, issue number 7. I felt that this book could have been a little bit more than it was, and I knew that I wanted him to join a team, but really not like this. That's really the worst I got to say about this comic book. Everything else is pure up from that point in, including this story is called Lost and Found, not Lost, Lost and Found. Kenneth Rocaford and Dan Daddio are the storytellers. Daddio did the dialogue itself. Ivan Placencia and Dan Brown did the colors. Travis Lanham did the letters. Kenneth Rocaford did the covers. So basically, we see that after his mom dies, he goes and he kind of talks to his mom. The dialogue could have been a lot better. I'm like directly looking at Dan Daddio at this point. The dialogue I feel like could have been a lot better. In many ways, I feel like the dialogue could have stood if the art would have shown him actually sad, because I didn't really see that. But even the dialogue itself, it just felt so, I don't know, like that's the kind of thing that you would write for, I don't know, a character who lost his mother, as opposed to, I don't know, man, has Daddio ever lost anybody before? Like, we're human. I think we've all lost someone. I would imagine, maybe I'm wrong, but I think all of us could think of the things that we have said when we lost someone. You know what I'm saying? Just maybe it's just me. Anyhow, like, life sucks. Get that through with a message, for crying out loud. This was a mourning scene, you know? So anyway, basically he goes to school a week after his mom's death. And though he's planning on figuring out who killed his mom, the idea is that when he goes back, he doesn't want to deal with anybody. And it's important to him because he's got to do this alone. So that includes Ernie. But Ernie goes up and she's talking to him. And what kind of bugs me here is she says, you don't have any right, you know, to feel this way, to ignore me. You don't think I'm hurting too? I loved her just as much as you did. Okay, maybe these two were like best friends for their entire lives, but I read the same comic books you have, and I didn't really get that sense about it. I didn't see I saw a little bit of them hanging out with each other and whatnot, but I didn't see them going to the mall and things like that, and them talking about, man, I wish that, you know, I could hang out with my son the way that I hang out with you, or if we could all just hang out together. I didn't really catch that. So either I missed something, or they forgot to show that, or this was just kind of thrown in there, or Ernie just didn't have any right to say these things. I would have gotten mad if somebody would have said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut your pie hole. I'd have been so upset if somebody would have said something like that to me, and they just weren't. Lastly, I don't know. It was great seeing the characters who actually showed up. All these other characters, especially, this is so weird, man. Seeing Shiloh Norman show up, that was cool. Seeing a bunch of the characters. Frankenstein, I'm never really particularly fond of seeing him. Shining Knight was interesting. Clarion the Witch Boy was especially interesting to me. Why? I was just, you know, on my channel, I also do the 10 Things About stories, or I also do the, you know, or before, that's a recent development that I started calling them 10 Things About. I used to just say, explained in a minute for this character or that character, you know? And I was just in the process of starting a Clarion the Witch Boy story, or, you know, like a quick little 2-minute explanation, 10 things about Clarion the Witch Boy. And all of a sudden I see him in here, I'm like, man, if I would have done it last week, it would have been perfect. I could have just advertised here. Now I got to say, be on the lookout for that at some point in the future. Maybe by the time the next issue comes out, I'll be like, boom, here it is. Okay, go look at it. Otherwise, go do a wiki search, whatever, you'll be fine. All in all, pretty good comic. I dug this. I like that he's at least going to be on a team, even if it's only going to be temporary, although I think that they could make it permanent. You know what I'm saying? Just because you call it, you know, what are the Secret 7 or whatever they're calling themselves, doesn't mean you can't just have 8. I mean, come on. You know, a trial member, something. But this was cool. I did dig this. This was kind of cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see where they're going to go with this. I hope it doesn't get too outlandish, but the thing is that With this character, you can. That's the thing about it. I'm used to the idea of the street level thing, but with his powers, we've already seen him talking to the Tempest Fugonaut, that he can go fully, 100% fully cosmic. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, Superman, watch my back, okay? Cover me with your heat vision while I go in and actually defeat the main bad guy. We've seen he can do something to that effect if he chooses. So it's an interesting diaspora where he can go street level to cosmic level. I wonder how that's going to play off. I hope that it plays off well. We'll see. Plastic Man's the only other character I can think who actually does that in a good way. I don't know. Anyway, it did also bother me a little bit with Zatanna. It's like, yeah, I can undo the events of the last hour because you just exposed yourself to the entire school. Not in that way, in the other way, with his superpowers. So, I can undo all those events in the last hour. But she knew about him since he went into the Dark Multiverse, which was in the previous episode, the previous issue, which was also when his mother died. So that means that she could have come back and undid the last hour or so of his life and made sure that his mom didn't die. Yeah, I would have commented on that. That's just me. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.